Hey, welcome to Maximum Bat Speed. Want to do this video here with Mike Trout, and hopefully some of the things that I'll share with you in this video will help you to become a better player, or if you're a coach, to help you to teach this to your players in order to get them to advance to a higher level as well. So let's get started here. First thing I want to show you here is this. When you're working with students, or when I'm working with students, I'm always looking at the lower body first, and this is just beautiful setup right here with Mike Trout, very athletic. And what I'm always looking for is just keeping those knees inside the feet or inside of the ankle here. You can see here he just does a beautiful job with that. You can see here also too he has a tall backside. In other words, he doesn't have curvature in his back, and he starts with his hands pretty high, which is fine. That's just his style, and that's one thing that I really never mess with, the style. I start going into more what goes on at toe touch and through extension. So as you can see here with Mike Trout, beautiful setup right here. Another thing to notice here is this right here. Watch what's going on right now. Pretty much at this point right here, he pretty much stopped moving back with his back leg. In other words, right now if I draw a line right here, watch what's going on, and again I'm going to go down from his knee all the way down. You can see there's a gap there between the ankle and the knee right here. This is what you want once you get to the point you post up to your max with your back leg. And by that I mean this. Watch this. Once he goes back right here, this is pretty much as far as he's going to go right here, and from there, because he's posting up against a firm back leg, that's where the upper body now starts to take over, allowing him to have better resistance, better pullback. This is going to give him tremendous torque. A lot of times I just don't see this. What I usually see with players of this lower levels is the knee starts creeping over the back foot, or even worse beyond that. That creates too many frames to your swing. As you get to the higher levels, it's going to deprive you the opportunity to hit 100-mile-per-hour fastballs if you're playing baseball. So that's one thing I would highly recommend for you if you're doing that. Now another thing that's going on here is this, just like I mentioned with Mike Trout having a particular style. Now watch what's going on right here. Even though he starts with his hands high, once he gets to the apex of his gather, he's going to have his hands pretty much at that classic look right there, where his hands are going to be right by the height of the armpit area, right by the shoulder area. This is going to give him a much better hand path. When your hands are way up here or too low, what it creates is compensation somewhere along the line. So where Mike Trout's hands right there, where he adjusted once he got to the apex of his gather, is beautiful, even though he started with his hands high. As he starts to walk away from the hands, watch what's going on right here. As he gets to toe touch, watch how that back elbow works back and behind him. And what he's doing right now is this, just allowing that back elbow to work back and behind him, giving him great pullback and resistance. This is going to allow him not only to control his momentum, but it's going to give him great separation between the lower and the upper body. This is just beautiful right here. And by that separation, I mean this. You can see here it's very obvious right here where his shoulders are pointing pretty much in this direction and his hips are pointing in this direction. So that you can see that the upper body is pointing pretty much where his shoulders are pointing to the second baseman. This is beautiful. Another thing to look for if you're working with your students, or if you're working with a child, you always want to land at a 50-50 balance when you land to toe touch. You can see there that he's very symmetrical. In other words, he doesn't have too much weight in his back leg, which is very common at toe touch. Sometimes it's more in the front side, but you want to be very symmetrical. Another thing to look for, from the eye down to the belt buckle, you want to have a slight slant like this. You don't want to be straight up, and you definitely don't want to be at this angle. From the eye down to the belt buckle, you want to have this pretty much at this angle here, just like this. Just as beautiful right here, along with his slightly bent arm. And you can see here it's very obvious that his knob is right over the back foot as he gets into his toe touch. This is just beautiful angles as well, with that bat at about a 45-degree angle. Beautiful checkpoints right there. And again, because he's applying that resistance, because he's applying that pullback, even into heel plant, it's going to give him a beautiful hand path right here. And by that I mean this. Watch what's going on with his hands. You can see here at this stage of the swing right here, he has that gap between the hands and the deltoid. This is going to allow his hand path to be able to hit pretty much any pitch that comes his way. What I see sometimes with players that are playing, they either drop their hands going straight down like this, thinking they're getting a compact swing, which they're not. Or what I also see with players is this, where, for example, let me just change the line here, and what I do as far as the bat, right where the bat is right there, what they do, they start casting out this way, and their hands actually end up getting further away from their deltoid area out here. And again, with the bat casting out either this way, or even worse yet, even this way. So where Mike Trout is right there, where's his hands, and where his bat is. A lot of this is, again, cause and effect, and that's one of the things that I teach when I'm working with students. When I'm doing online video analysis, I'm always explaining the cause and effect, because if you don't know the cause of it, you're not going to know how to fix the effect or the results of what it looks like. For example, if you have a poor extension, I'm not going to tell you to let's just fix your arms and your bat. I'm going to fix the lower body. I'm going to fix the resistance and other things like that in order for you to get to a great resistance. That is what you should be doing as a coach in order to help your players maximize their full potential. So again, we talked about the hand path right there. Watch how beautifully he gets there to the connection where his back elbow's right there to the side, and then watch how the elbow starts to work up to the height of the mouth right there. It's just beautiful right there. Even in a pitch like this, it's down by his ankles, he still allows his elbow to work up by the height of the mouth. This is going to allow him to hit to the ball and through the ball. This is just beautiful mechanics here by Mike Trout, and I would highly recommend for you when you're working with your students, if you're working with your child, to make sure that you scaffold the swing. You got to make sure that you start from the bottom up. Make sure it starts with the setup. That's very important. Another thing I would highly recommend from there is just make sure they have beautiful balance, applying resistance, and again, just working through the drills with them in order for them to be able to build their swing so that they understand and master every stage of the swing the way I believe a coach should be teaching the swing. Now you can see here just beautiful job right there, and again the elbow right there, even though he got a very low pitch, you can see here how the elbow's right there by the height of the mouth, and if I draw a line where the mouth is, this is just beautiful mechanics by Mike, and you can see here he's hitting off a front axis. This is just beautiful. This is going to allow him to have beautiful rotation through the ball. Now if I go here to a video for the same swing from a different perspective, you can see right here how his back elbows works back and behind him. Watch how high that elbow is right there. So as he gets to toe touch, you can see he has that classic line right here from the shoulder to shoulder to elbow, all pointing pretty much to the second baseman. Just a beautiful job right there. And again, as he starts to rotate right here, watch how the elbow starts to work up to the height of the mouth, even in a pitch like this. Watch how low this pitch is right here. And Mike just does a beautiful job of applying that elbow working up to the height of the mouth, therefore allowing him to get beautiful extension through the ball. Now this video right here that I did for you, I hope it helps you. Again, if you ever need any help with online analysis, I'm here to help you. I did a 2-hour and 45-minute video explaining a lot of what I shared with you in this video. And for me as a coach, it's very important to understand, for me, for my students, to build their swing in a sequential manner, to build their swing in a scaffolding manner for them to be able to master each stage before they get to another one. I hope this video has been helpful. Please give me a like if you enjoyed it, and you have a great day.